JANKOS is a player that needs no introduction. He's been a world-class jungler for many years, and has reigned for multiple seasons in EU on top team after top team. Recently, he's been playing on the Korean server, and absolutely dominating. So of course, we were curious enough to take a look and see what he's doing. What we found was actually quite shocking. But before we get into that, we've actually completely updated our jungle route course at skillcaps.com. You can find our updated jungle route recommendation on every single champion in the game. For example, don't know Lee Sin's best route? Well, use our quick start guide to find his recommended blue and red buff starts. Then, it's as simple as watching our guides on those routes to start pathing like a challenger, crushing the early game, and snowballing to victory. Check it out, along with a discount link in the description below. Now, back to the guide. I want you guys to see this replay where he's playing Wukong into a Talon. It starts off with JANKOS soloing his red buff, and then transitioning into his Raptors. This is nothing unusual, of course, but things take a weird turn when he stops his clear downwards and starts going towards Krugs instead. We have seen a route like this before with Predator champions, where they'll do Krugs and then recall to buy boots. But he has Conqueror and is definitely not doing that. So what gives? JANKOS isn't planning on recalling at all here. He's looking to invade. After the Krugs, he runs straight into the enemy jungle and hunts down the Talon. Knowing the timing of the enemy jungler is clear, he's able to easily catch him off guard as he's turning the corner to his blue buff, and solo kills him after blowing his flash in the process. In true Korean fashion, the enemy support is topside at level 2, but he's able to make a clean escape and sneak out regardless of that fact. Knowing that Talon only has camps up in his topside, he just loops back around and sneaks in to keep adding pressure, stealing away the Talon's blue. I want to remind everyone that his bot side camps are left untouched this entire time. So why does this work? And why does he want to create chaos so badly after just 3 camps? Like I briefly mentioned before, the Korean server has been known to have their own way of doing things. They really love fighting. Their games end super early, people run around the map to every play, and the fast pacing is something that we just don't really see very often on other servers. When you know that you have a strong early game and want to push your lead, it's beneficial to force a lot of interactions between you and the other champions in the game. And when you think you're just going to mechanically outplay everyone in every fight like the Koreans seem to, that just means that there are going to be fights non-stop. Opponents will even ward like Vex did in this game to try and prevent these early plays from happening. But because of this, JANKOS intentionally passed away to avoid that potential ward. So even though his opponents were playing around it by putting vision down, and the enemy support came to stop the play, it still worked. It got me thinking. This kind of aggressive play will probably work even better in other servers where no one is prepared for this style, and especially in elos lower than this. So I took to solo queue to try out some stuff, and well, let's just look at the results. I initially tried out Wukong because it worked for JANKOS, so it should work for me, right? I did pretty much the exact same thing in this game. My aim was to just clear out a quadrant and then look to hunt down the enemy jungler. Seeing more top gives me a feeling that Amumu is pathing upwards, so I start making plans for that. I don't have to do all of the extra work of dodging a ward since, well, this is NA and I can just do Krugs into Raptors. One of the other main differences from other invade routes is that this one has a lot more flexibility. Instead of going red-blue Gromp or red Raptors Gromp and leaving a bunch of camps scattered around, we can do this route and look for pretty much any aggressive play anywhere on the map. And if there's nothing, we can just continue our clear normally or come back to farm our other camps later. You just constantly want to be thinking about other plays that you can do like I was in this game. I also look to transition mid as well. I'd have to solo kill her and then I lose my chance to invade. I think I'd blow her barrier and whatnot. It's really not that important for me to influence this. I think I'd rather play to snowball myself, honestly, and just play for this invade here. Making the active choice not to go mid. I could definitely get sums, but top lane I lost flash, but he does have TP. Ultimately, I do end up deciding to just look for the invade, since it seemed like my highest likelihood play, and as you can see, I get a free flash, take his red, and get out with so much as a scratch. However, I was definitely willing to change my plan to something else. This was just an easy way to get a lead, and it works in almost every game you play. We can actually see JANKOS adapt and do other plays after full clearing one quadrant in another game, this time on Rengar. He starts at blue and finishes his 3-camp full quadrant clear. He realizes that Nidalee is pathing up, so he can really look to be aggressive on bottom side right away. When he gets to his Raptors, he skips them, and also skips his red buff, just looking to impact the map immediately. Rengar is definitely not a champ that a lot of players imagine early ganking, but here he is bottom at level 3. He shows up and immediately gets a kill, allowing him to help fix the way for Ezreal to recall. It's important to note that by impacting the map this early, you blow summoners and can try to come punish those important cooldowns being down by re-yanking. Notice how all of JANKOS' bot side camps are still up. The ability to now use those camps to kill time is going to come in very handy. He's able to continue to spend time on bot side since he has things to do, and the second that the enemy bot lane is back in lane, he can immediately re-gank due to his proximity. The pathing that he did let him not only punish early, but continue to punish that same lane. And that's the main difference between this and other early aggressive paths. If we were to do red, blue, and Gromp and try to gank a lane, we would only have wolves to let us kill some time. And after that, we'd want to leave that side of the map immediately. That just isn't something you have to worry about if all your camps are still up on that side. I know that a lot of you will probably be skeptical about how this will work, but when you're playing in solo queue, you're pretty much always going to be able to just brute force a gank or some sort of invade. I tried this multiple times and never failed to find something after my initial 3 camps, even if it doesn't look particularly clean or easy like the previous games might have made it look. We can look at an Olaf game I played to see a scenario just like that. I start by clearing out my topside quadrant, and my Tryndamere even dies while I'm doing so. I have little to no topside control, but I do know that I trust my ability to fight, and that the enemy jungler is pathing towards topside. Well, here goes nothing, right? I'm gonna hold skill point here, W's possible, or 2 points axe. Don't need to use the second potion, I'll save it for during the fight. Can rely on red buff regen right now. Okay, that's a little unfortunate he saw me, but... we'll just bully him out. Tryndamere is having problems rotating right now, so I'm just gonna play it chill. We can definitely just play to scrap though. I'm extremely strong here. Just gonna mess with them. Be annoying. Even though my top laner never moves to this play, because I play it slow and I'm just constantly being annoying, Darius feels the need to sit around for a long time, and I'm able to stall and wait for the perfect time to go in. I would have won this 1v2, as Sylas doesn't even do anything, so any argument saying my laners won't move to my invades is irrelevant. You just can't dive headfirst and rush plays. Sometimes you have to be patient, and it takes a while, just like this. Regardless, the willingness to fight and do things early can lead to massive advantages, and I ran very little risk since I could have just recalled and went to my bot side and start full clearing up like I did in this game. Another great benefit of getting into the enemy jungle early is that you get information on their camps. I know exactly what timer it's going to respawn, so I can just run right back in and look for the Gromp again, further snowballing my lead. Of course, this also lets me punish the summonless laner again, which is exactly what this strat tries to do. So to implement this into your own games, try doing 3 camps in one quadrant, and then looking for an invade anywhere, or a gank on the other side of the map. When you put pressure on one side, come back and punish the lack of summoners all day long until you're just super fed. This game, my team was kind of inting, so the score doesn't look too great, but when I'm so fed that I can literally run into a 1v4 and quadra kill with no help, I feel like maybe it's a little strong to just play to get fed early. I try to flowchart my pathing as much as possible, which is something I normally don't do, but in all the games that I tried it, I had good results. So try it out, and let me know how it works for you guys. Now you can unlock the full live commentaries where I walk you through how to execute this new route in solo queue at our website, skillcap.com. And as you can tell from the guide you just watched, knowing the most powerful meta routes is incredibly overpowered. That's why we created a comprehensive jungle route course where you can find updated jungle route recommendations on every single champion in the game. For example, don't know Lee Sin's best route? Well, use our quick start guide to find his recommended blue and red buff starts. Then it's as simple as watching our guides on those routes to start pathing like a challenger, crushing the early game and snowballing to victory. Check it out along with a discount link in the description below. Now back to the guide. Until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.